Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of You've Already Peaked Gaming Podcast, the podcast that you wake up every week ready to see. Featuring your host, Locarthemanbeast, also featuring me, the LobsterDust. Welcome. How you doing?
Good. You know what is an incredibly terrifying thing for me, and I'm sure a lot of men out there? It's popping a new head on a razor and going at your nuts.
What?
Yeah. Like,
that's terrifying?
Yeah, dude. What
fucking razor do you use?
First off, I use like one of the fucking Gillette Hydro 5-blade, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Okay. It's great.
Shave with confidence, my friend.
I shave with confidence, but that is like, it's like a freshly sharpened katana against like your genitalia. One wrong move and the rest of your day is just unsettled. That's what I'm saying. It's not the confidence of the shave. It's the
one wrong move.
How do you shave your nuts?
Aggressively.
I mean,
Look at my face and tell me I don't have to go in there with a fucking game plan.
No, I do too, but that's what I'm saying. You pull back, you're in it, you're fucking working. Like one wrong slip of that, or like the soap gets a little awkward, you go sideways with that blade on accident.
Soap?
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Use soap and not like shaving cream?
In the shower? No. Why would you use shaving cream in the shower? Bro, Dove body wash, like the moisturizing body wash. Oh,
no, I'm not listening to this.
Baby boy. It's like, it is smooth.
Come over.
Okay.
You shave my shower's big enough we could both fucking go in there.
All right.
I'll show you the technique.
Okay, no. I will show you.
It's like fucking Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pie in the face. You just get that much shaving cream and you just
Yeah, no, I
lather. Then you have to sift through. You find the head. You just yank. Hold on for dear life.
And it's like playing a fucking.
The katana of the Gillette just does the work for you.
I know. Okay, I will. What I'll do is I'll also bring.
It's when you don't have a brand new razor head that you're like, oh, is this going to be the day that I get like a tug or a pull or something? But a brand new one?
No.
I'll trust that with my life.
Tug and a pull is fine. I'm saying how sharp those blades are, dude. Like, I do not want an accidental sideways, because I've done it before. You know what I mean? We've all done it before, where like you accidentally like just and it's like a parallel. You know what I mean? And then you're just like the rest of your day has just got this uncomfortable burn to it. You know what I mean? Like
just deliberate long stroke.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. I will. The Dove body wash, bro, is a game changer because it allows you to see. And it's like this moisturizing cream. So like by the time you're done with everything, bro, it is silky smooth down there. I'm telling you. Because the shaving cream, the thing about the shaving cream is it's just like it's too much and you can't see what's going on. That's why I swapped away from it. Plus, it's just like there's just the extra amount of all this stuff. You are right. It's the pie cream. You can't see through it. And you're like, I think I've cleaned it up, and then you're going back and you're like, oh, there's a couple hairs, and you got to re-lather and all this shit. You put the Dove stuff on, man, like it's like translucent, man. You know exactly where you're going, but that shit is just like extra. It's like aloe vera against your nuts.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm not the best advocate for the method. The more I think about it, it's like I'm using cheat codes. Like I am going in there and I'm doing what I said. But then like in hindsight, in retrospect, like looking back, I'm also Janica's got this really nice, like, have you seen women's razors where it's like 2 bars of fucking soap on either side? I do. I do. She doesn't watch the shit, so I can say it. I do
Yeah.
My final pass, like after everything's all done and like washed off, I'm like, I'll clean up with this a little bit, and then I do be like afterwards, I'm like, oh, like she has like all these different like tonics and stuff to keep her skin. Like sometimes I overdo it, and then I can't get my balls off the side of my leg because they're so soft and like. So I have to like calm down on that. So maybe I'm not the best like oh, this is how men do it, because sometimes there's back half I be getting a little feminine with them testicles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like I get out of the shower when I'm done, and I've got like a nice lotion I go through, and then like we're not using aftershave on this shit. You know what I mean? But it's like,
can you imagine?
Oh my god, the Home Alone just down low.
Yeah. Just. You didn't think your balls could get tighter than if you like they were iced until you do that, and they just whew.
The fear of gonorrhea. I just but then it's like I use like all these natural like fucking like vitamin C oils and stuff like that, or vitamin E oils and stuff. Just give it a slight rub, dude. It is silky smooth. I've got it down. Back in the day, we were just called Metro. Okay, not any of this weird fucking 2025 shit that's going on.
Yeah, back in the day, two guys could shave their pubes in a bathroom together, sprinkle in some gold flakes, and call it the golden ticket.
Yeah, that's all it was. Huh? Yeah, but here we are. Now I gotta identify genders because of this.
Now I have to suck dick because of what I do.
They used to say, "Fucking, if you did what you love, it would never be a job."
We're like coming around to like. It's like girls used to get pressured by like straight guys, and now like straight guys are gonna start getting pressured like you're what? You do that? No, you have to.
Yeah,
you have to, dude. Oh, it's like claiming stolen valor. Like oh, if you're not there, so you're like that. If you got to do it.
Yep.
Just fucking hamstringing them.
Oh my god! I saw something the other day. It was like someone's like, fuck, what was it saying? It's like, we're almost back, baby. Like, the word retard's back on the rise. Like, they're just like jamming out. It's like, we're almost there. It's like,
we're coming back.
All right. 2025 is our year.
Finally, I could talk how I've always wanted.
Oh, Christ. So how's it been? You been busy?
I've been so busy. I have just been. Yeah. I was thinking about it. Like, I hope that I don't, and I do. I feel like I need to like advertise our podcast at work.
Okay. Reasons?
Because I am becoming too well respected, and people are thinking too highly of me.
Oh,
I'm a very hard worker, but they're mistaking that for like I'm an adult.
Yeah,
and it's getting awkward. It's getting weird.
You know what you do? Here's another one. You don't have to necessarily introduce them to the podcast because that might get you fired.
That's what I'm saying. There's got to be like a middle ground where like I shit my pants in public or something.
Take them out to a bar.
And then none of them drink.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know. There's got to be like some middle ground where, because I'm very good at my job. I know that.
Sure.
That does not mean I'm mature or by any means. Like there's a big gap where these people have filled it in with like, wow, he's got his shit together. And I'm not faking it, but I don't know how to, like, I feel like I've gone past, it's like when you don't know somebody's name and like you've gone past the point where you could ask now, like,
you just got to call him guy or bud.
Long, I don't know how to let them down and be like,
but my favorite point of that is like, there's always somebody that finally catches on, right? Like I've had it before where like all of a sudden someone's like, oh, what the fuck? It's like, and they kind of get like almost mad. It's like, you built that up in your own head. I gave you fucking nothing. That has nothing to do with me, you know? But isn't that...
There is someone that's not caught on, but I think they're in the same position.
Oh.
And now it's like the Spider-Man's pointing at each other.
Yeah.
But I don't think she wants people to catch on.
Right. She's like, shut your fucking mouth. Take the heat for me. And like, I'll make sure.
Yeah, I can't remember what she was saying something about like the CEO shooter. And like she in just like word diarrhea, like started going down the rabbit hole. I was like, y'all want to talk conspiracies? And like it was just like a brief like 5-minute thing. And then like as we were talking about it, you saw her like the deer in the headlights, like, oh, we shouldn't be talking about this. And she's like, anyways, I don't talk about this kind of stuff at work. And like walked away. She's like, no, I'll put it all on display.
Now what you do, like next time you go to work, you just bring her red string and tacks and just set it on her desk and then just leave.
Just like every time I walk by, just leave another picture of some kind of something. See if it just like manifests itself.
Yeah, exactly. Just start printing out Mandela effects and just like leaving it around her.
Just a whole bunch of pictures of Sinbad. And
the cornucopias. Oh my God.
Oh. But yeah, work's been crazy.
Good.
Work is only going to continue to be crazy.
As it should be.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's the drive that hurts the most. Because it's not the work.
Yeah.
The work, like in comparison, like everybody there is so much more focused on patient care that it's a weight off my shoulders compared to other places I've been.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not the work itself, but like taking a 10-hour day and putting an hour and 40 minutes on either side of it that's just driving. It's like it doesn't feel like there's a lot of time outside of that. And then like days like today where it's like, God, I just want to sleep. Like I feel like I'm wasting my day. I'm hoping that like once everything, like, because right now my schedule is just crazy because like one girl's out on medical leave and another girl is like constantly sick, which I think means like she's nearing retirement and is just using up all her PTO.
Gotcha.
But I think once I fall, like all this falls out of rhythm and I get into like a regular schedule, it'll be a lot more. It's just like right now, it's like, okay,
chaotic.
You work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're off Thursday, but then Friday and Saturday you're going to work. And then Sunday we need you on call and like, just shit like that. Doesn't leave a lot of time for games though, man.
Yeah, I don't think, man, I have been in and out of gaming pretty consistently lately. Like it's weird, dude. Like I really enjoy playing games, but there's something about like being, I don't want to say secluded because it's not really the truth behind it, but it's like the when I'm by myself, like and no one else is on and no one's like around to game, I have just no desire to do anything in gaming.
You actually might have fucked us now that I think about it.
How? With the divorce?
No. Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Oh.
The other D word.
Okay, all right.
No, I actually I find myself, a lot of times if I don't like, if somebody like, even if somebody's like, hey, I'm going to be doing this. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I could read a few chapters. I'm turning some weird little fucking like antisocial cat that just wants to curl up on a blanket and read a few chapters. That actually might be it too. I'm reading a lot more. I already read, but usually it was like I bring a book to work so it doesn't look like I'm on my phone all the time.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Now I'm just reading.
That is something that this series in general definitely sparked something back in me because I read all throughout the year. I read books constantly. Like just because one, I'm up all the fucking time. Like when everybody's locked down by like 11 o'clock and they're like, oh, it's bedtime or whatever. And everybody pisses off. I'm still up to like fucking 2 or 3 in the morning. Like I can't sit and game by myself all hours of the night. So I would just read. I would pick up a book and just read. I've got a bunch of fucking stupid books I haven't even finished. Cause like you start, you know how you start a book that sounded really cool and you get into it and you're just like, I just cannot keep plugging through this. This is awful, you know? And so like, I'll use one of my
book 2 sentences at a time. Like, oh, that's enough.
I do this thing. Oh man, it feels really bad, but like I pay for Audible. And so like I have like 8 or 9 tokens saved up, because
I've been thinking about Audible because of my drive.
That's exactly what I use.
You drive a lot too.
A lot. So I'm always constantly like, I just need fucking music or something going on in the car. And so like, if I'm not listening to music that day, I've got an Audible book running. And so like, usually what ends up happening is I'll buy a book, I'll try and read it. It's dog shit. And then I'll try and find it on Audible. And then I'll try and listen to it on Audible. Cause I'm like, the story sounds super interesting. And then it's like, the worst.
Just my eyes aren't doing it right.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. Maybe I'm just not interpreting the story well enough. And then what ends up happening is I get the Audible book and whoever's reading it is just complete dog shit too. And I'm like, I don't even know anymore, And
I've had some times like going out to like before Audible when it was like the books on tape.
Yeah.
That you could get it like those truck stops like along like the highways.
Yeah.
And you get just like the cassette tapes and be like, please insert or flip over to side B.
Yep.
Stuff like that. And sometimes it'd be great. And then sometimes some guy, what were you thinking? Was there like nobody in the room, no producer who's like,
yeah.
And he's like, like trying to do like a girl's voice, like in terror.
I will
absolutely kills everything.
I will tell you right now, do not listen to Dungeon Crawler from the Audible series. Whoever reads it,
I don't think I ever would.
I've got a vision of all these characters in my head and almost their voices in my head. I feel like listening to the Audible thing would ruin it.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what happened. I finished book 5 yesterday, right? And I was like, okay, well, I want to reread. And I was like, I'm not going to have time to like reread and stuff like that. So I'll just listen to the Audible series. So I picked up the first book and I started the Audible stuff. I can't stand the way he reads the AI, the way he does Carl's voice, like all of like, oh God, it ruins everything. The book. I was like, I can't do it. In my head, the sassiness of the fucking AI has to be done a very specific way. And like the way he reads it like an AI, but he doesn't do it justice.
What's your AI? What's your AI voice?
High pitched a little bit, not high pitched, but like very feminine and kind of like goofy, but like also really like just full sass, like not Valley Girl sass, but just like with attitude and then loud.
Mine, I think, is kind of somewhere. I think it's like a non-Jewish version of Nick Kroll.
Okay.
Like all of a sudden, like what do you like? It's like you've got your like pervert box award, but then like normally like hey blah 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 blah, like it kind of like brings it back up.
I got you.
But Dungeon Crawler Carl, I feel like when the content is that good, and like you got I'm almost afraid of like an adaptation of it because of how. It's not like the words are overly descriptive, but like the scenarios like manifest themselves as you're reading them. That it makes me worried for anybody who tries to take this on. It's like, what are you doing?
I almost like I was gonna say like if I could get in to meet him next month when the book comes out, I just want to tell him like, don't fucking let anyone in Hollywood take this. Like unless you're just in it for the money, then fuck it, who gives a shit? But like if you are serious about the story, like if this is. I also want to ask him what his interpretation of the AI is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because for me, every time he gets a pervert box, it's not like Dom man. It's like sexy, seductive, like, yeah, you squish those things between your toes type of like the way you read it. Like the one in the book that we just read where it's like, it just moaned for like a minute. Stuff
seeing
like
that one, that specific one.
We gotta be careful. Don't spoil anything because we really have to be careful. Sean,
I don't want to spoil it, but like, I mean, like, I pictured the AI as like that, like albino guy from fucking Angels and Demons or like Da Vinci Code, flogging himself in mode.
I went more like, what was it? Hedonism bot from like Futurama, like, oh, you know what I mean? Like,
oh
God, it's like so good.
I feel like it has to be, and I don't know if we've talked about this already, but like I don't think you can do live action for an adaptation. Like I almost feel like it'd be a better service. It'd be like less marketable, but if you did something that was
Invincible,
more akin to like Invincible or like some kind of like animation style, because
Rick and Morty,
there's gonna be so much that I was thinking Rick and Morty, but less like cartoony, if you will. So Invincible would kind of like lend itself in that area, but
I wish I love the story. I wish before it gets to a live adaptation or something that comes onto streaming services or some bullshit like that, I wish there would be a graphic novel of it, because I think that would be a good indicator on how, like, if an artist was to draw it ahead of time, that would be a good way for people to be able to like visualize it, see it, and
actually visualize it, and like, and almost like borderline like storyboard it for people, so it's a lot easier for the adaptation.
Because that's a great idea. Because there's a lot of times that I forget that he's wearing like a cape, like a cloak cape with like his fucking jacket and boxers, and that's basically it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Until like he references the cape, and then I'm like, oh, that's right. Because like in my head, he just looks like some biker dude with like tattoos and shit, you know, in like a pair of like white boxers
and impossibly manicured feet.
Impossibly with toe rings.
Yeah.
And then just fucking forms a giant fucking like ball spike thing on his fist whenever he wants to punch something.
Yeah.
There's some goofiness to it, man. I am just I gotta
we can't talk about
I know.
We can't talk about
I will
tell you talk about it.
I gotta slow down, dude. I gotta slow down. I am plugging through these books. I finished. I would have finished the book day one. No, probably not. Because it's this one
late.
I did get it late.
It's chunky.
I did get it. I sat down. I sat down and started reading it around like 9:00, and then I finished around 1. And I was like halfway through the book, and then I picked it up day 2, and like it just kept plugging away at it. And then I was like, I'm gonna stop. I want to save some of this, like savor it. Like, because I could have just finished it, but I was like, man, I just realized, like, if I finish it now, I've got a month before the next book comes out, you know? I'm like...
Yeah. But it's like binge watching a series when there's not another season already ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of buildup in that book. Yes. The first, I don't know, 2/3 or maybe even like 3/4 was a lot. Like you could have taken your time, but I feel like once you hit, like, I hit that point where I was like, oh, I knew it was going to ramp up, and that's where I stopped. You're like, why? Oh, so you left the epilogue? Like, why didn't you keep going? I was like, because I knew, like, once you dip in, like, it's, I've been floating down a stream and I'm about to hit the rapids where, like, I just can't stop.
That is the worst part about, and I don't know, because I noticed this in the last book too. And like I was talking about, I think like the first couple books were definitely about the dungeon, definitely about the fights, definitely about like what was happening and shit like that. And now these last couple books have been kind of more about like the story and like the full thing encompassing it. And so there's a lot of writing that is about that, and it's kind of building this whole thing up, which is cool. I'm all about it because I love this world building that he's doing. That it's not just world building the individual dungeon floors, it's world building the entire universe. You know what I mean? And so like it's really cool to see it. But it was like just a lot of that. And then when the things that were happening, the action portion of the story, they were done in an instant. And I was like, man, I just want a little bit more. Just a little bit more. You could even, I mean, how many times are you going to write that someone punched him, you know, he punched something in the face? Like, I get that. I understand that, you know, but just like there has to be more. And I'm hoping that whatever the next book brings, because it sounds like there's going to be a lot of stuff where I feel like it's going to be a lot of them trying to You know,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I'm just
we gotta be careful
I
about
know.
the fucking word vomit.
I know that's just it's tough. It's tough. But I'm hoping that this wraps up really nice and clever because as of right now,
Well, so we just read book 5, yeah?
Yep, and there's 2 more.
3 more.
Technically 3 more. He hasn't finished.
Technically 3 more. He's working on a third, so they're knowing what you know now and everything like that. With there being a third book on the horizon, that does the map that we've mapped out previously is kind of just like up in the air. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, because I definitely thought we were gonna have certain floors. And I wondered what the idea for ending this is gonna be. You know what I mean?
I know. That's the exciting part. Because I don't know, by book 3, we're like, oh, we're already like it's gotta it's gotta go like here, it's gotta go here. Now it's real like ambiguous. Like it can,
which is nice.
Really
which is not because
ways.
I definitely think that was the way, especially the way that this book ended. I thought that there was the way that it was being written. It was like it felt very cookie cutter, like you could just predict what was happening. And now that's out the window, you know. So it's like cool. I'm good. I'm all about it.
And it just seems to be getting more unpredictable. Like more like what?
Yeah.
But anyways,
I'm in love
with this book anymore.
I know. I can't stop.
Yeah, we love it.
Anyway, but you are
spoiling it.
You are right. Getting into reading these books has like kind of killed the desire to play video games. But I also think it's because there's not really shit to play.
I was gonna say,
well, okay.
Books and everything aside, games that have come out this year and games that excite us, games that have potential for game of the year. I've played a lot of like the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Mm-hmm.
And while I think it's a great game, I don't think it's game of the year territory.
Sure. Okay.
You know, I think it's a really good game. I don't think it's a movement, you know.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Monster Hunter Wild? Because I have still not played a drop of it. Is it
I
game
think
of the year contender?
I think it's definitely game of the year contender because of the replayability of that game and how many hours you can sink into that game and still scratch a surface. You know what I mean? Like,
does it set the hook?
It did for me for a little bit, and I wish I would gone back to play it more. I just haven't really had time to do it. Plus I didn't want to really progress too far without Sean. Because we kind of started together, and I think that's where everything kind of gets thrown in the weird mix. The thing about Monster Hunter, though, and this is the shittiest part for me, is that Monster Hunter games are pretty much the exact same. There's nothing. There's new stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. There's definitely new stuff, new storyline, new monsters, all the different things, but it's the same game. If you played one Monster Hunter game, you have played all the other Monster Hunter games. And so that's exciting for people that haven't played Monster Hunter or have only gotten into, like, their first one was World, and they're like, well, things have changed so much and so drastically, it's so hard, blah, 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 with WoWs, and it's like, you never played any of the original Monster Hunter games. You know what I mean? Like, if you played on, like, the PSP or like the PlayStation 2, like Monster Hunters, like, you know what difficulty is, you know? And so I think it's a contender because there's nothing else out yet. There's a new game that just came out that I want to play. So I have it downloaded. It was on Game Pass for free. I've been kind of following it for a little bit. It's called South of Midnight. And it's a single player game. The story is set in like South, like, I'm trying to think of like what, like, I want to say like Bayou time period, like type of thing, or like with like voodoo, like, and
kind of like, so kind of adjacent to
The Hunt.
Yeah, I was gonna say
kind of, but it's more along the lines of like the
more mystical.
Yeah, superstitions and things that exist out in like the South and like the deep South and like. But the way that the game is done, it's almost done in a way when you watch it, it looks like stop motion. It's really,
like as you're playing it.
yeah, like the way that the characters and everything move in the game, it almost looks like it's like James and the Giant Peach. And it's
That's
really
cool.
fucking cool. Like artistically, I think it's a really, really unique game. I don't think that the gameplay and anything are really, shooting a new, standard for the way the gaming should be. But I think as a game and like the visual effects of it, I think have not really been done before. And it looks really, really interesting. Because the first time I kind of watched it when they were like showcasing it, I was like, is this just like frame lag or whatever? And then like as you kind of like look at like the art and the style and everything, you're like, oh, this is kind of designed as like stop motion almost. And it was just, it kind of lit something up in my brain,
Yeah,
because I love stop
it's
motion.
different. Taking a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far from what I've heard, everybody has really enjoyed it. IGN, I think, reviewed it at like an 8 or whatever. And like, IGN kind of throws fucking numbers everywhere. But realistically, I mean, if it's an interesting, game, I definitely want to sit down and play it. Is it going to be game of the year? I don't know. I don't think it's going to really.
It's hard to hit game of the year on single player games, I feel like, without like
God of War. Did God of War get
Yeah.
game of the year? Yeah, it did, right? The 2018 one?
No.
No,
that was nah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
right?
it did.
I can't remember.
Not the one against Elden Ring, but the one prior didn't
Yeah,
it?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know. I think not that like
Hold on.
times have changed.
Let your camera catch up. All right, you're good.
Not that like times have changed per se, but it's almost like a shift. I think and this could just be me because I'm kind of new to like PC gaming, but I feel like a big shift like when COVID happened and everybody was, like inside and like everybody started playing, everybody started streaming, everybody started like doing all this shit. I almost feel like the zeitgeist kind of switched over to less console-y and more like, oh yeah, this is how we connect with friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like the thing about the console market right now is that like, so Microsoft is producing a console, right? That is going to be able to run Steam, right? That's their idea.
Steam is releasing their own console.
Right. But the thing about Microsoft being able to run Steam means that they just ended the console war.
Yeah.
Because Steam
in a strange way.
Because Steam has a licensing agreement with Sony to be able to launch Sony titles on their platform. So now you can play Sony exclusive titles on Steam through the Xbox. It's over.
It used to be they almost borderline. See, here's where I'm a little confused. It's like, to my understanding, they almost borderline lost money on their consoles so they can make up for it on like their like exclusive titles and games and stuff. What does that mean for like the maybe even like quality of their consoles moving forward if they're not focused on that,
Xbox, I don't think it has anything to do about the quality, because here's the thing. If you can
you wouldn't produce consoles for a loss anymore.
Well, not only that, but I mean, all you'd have to do is partner up with a PC company that, like, think about it. Pick fucking anything, Omen, Alienware, whatever. Develop a fucking console that can still play Xbox titles, right? That's all you need to do, and then just be able to run PC stuff in big picture mode on like Steam. That's all you need, and be able to hook up to the TV. Microsoft doesn't have to pump any money into that. They already have that because they run the OS system.
I feel like you also have to have like what's the point of like being able to like run Steam, but then you can't run like a majority of the games, Like if all of a sudden like every game you're putting on and it's like the fucking Nintendo Switch, you're like, oh God, like why didn't I just buy a PC or build a PC or something like that?
I think that's kind of the point though too, because like I was thinking about this. It's like the idea is either Microsoft works with Steam to get their titles on Steam as exclusive, like their exclusive titles and stuff like that on Steam, which they pretty much already have. Can't you get No, maybe not. I was thinking maybe you can get Halo on Steam. I can't remember if you can or can't. But if you can, then it kind of throws it all out of the, because as of right now, PC has the
they have the Master Chief Collection.
Well, then if that's the case, then
and all of that.
I mean, that it's there. So it's like at this point, the only thing that Microsoft has is the umbrella of all of the developers. So if they're no longer producing, this is one of the things that we talked about back when they got their lawsuit, right? When there was all the things, like, if they're soaking up
everything's on Game Pass and
exactly, and they were like, well, if they're soaking up all the developers, then we're running into a situation now where, like, what point of this is like monopoly, right? But if they're no longer producing consoles and they're just like, well, we'll just make something so you can play our games and Steam games or whatever it comes out to, people can pick it up. Because realistically, here's the thing. Look at a console. A console is what? $600? Your fucking dead PC that does nothing is $2,800? $3,200?
Sure.
You know?
The expensive one?
Yeah.
Boy, the GPU alone was $2,800. Don't get me started on everything else.
But that's what I'm saying. Realistically, people don't have that money, but people can have $600.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if nothing else, you're still, this is the Stadia idea of like, well, we'll just give you something so you can stream, stream games. Yeah. It's the
Amazon Luna.
Yeah, exactly. It's the cheap version of gaming that will still allow people, and especially you think about it, for kids, more or less trying to get into gaming. I'm not going to buy a 6-year-old a $2,800 fucking, masterpiece when all he's going to do is play Roblox and Minecraft. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good point.
For us, like the adults.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah. You do have to look at it from a step back and not just think of like what our utility to it would be. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Plus thinking about it, like on the other side is that, Microsoft may not be making money necessarily on their games, but they'll make money on their, like, the Game Pass. You know what I mean? If it comes down to a point where I can spend $15 a month and get a plethora of video games to be able to play, you know what I mean? Like, then you can keep families gaming without having them spending a shit ton of money. Especially like look at the Switch 2, right? The Switch 2 is coming out. It's going to be what, like $900. Every game that's getting released is $400 or something like that. It's some fucking Nintendo has gone off the rocker. I think realistically, I think each game is what, $80 or $90 or something like that.
I think it's like $79.99.
It's $80. Yeah.
They're high.
People are mad. People are big mad over that.
Yeah. And I don't, that's what, if you take it back to like every game used to have like their own kind of, like price range. Like games were, it was like $25 for like the, not N64 cartridges, but like, I think it was like 25, 30 for N64 cartridges. 40 at most, 40 for like the big games that came with like rumble packs and shit that.
I think it was
and then
40 and 50.
Start moving towards like, you get to like PlayStation titles that unless they were on like greatest hits, they were generally around like the 40s to 50s. I think PlayStation kind of had some leniency where like some games would be like that, like 25 to 30. There was you start getting to like Xbox 360, you start getting to Xbox titles, you start getting to like PlayStation 2, and everything kind of set at like the $59.99 and like 60 was the point.
That was when I was working at GameStop. That was when 360 and PS3 and the Wii came out, and that's when all of the games hit the $60 mark, and that's where it stayed for fucking years.
The Wii, I forget about the Wii.
You know what I mean? But you are right. But it was a $10 jump. It was games went up from $45, $50 to the $60 mark. Prior to that, like maybe like Sega Genesis or like Sega or like Dreamcast titles may have been a bit cheaper, but like Super Nintendo cartridges were $60.
Were they?
Yeah, they were fucking dummy expensive when they first came out. So like, I know that there was a shift down at one point because when everything came out, it was really, really high. And I think it was just because tech was just, nobody had any reference point. So it was like, this feels like it might be right.
We said it.
I do know that like PC gaming at a certain point, like I know that Doom, like you could get for like $10. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there was things like that because it was all like shareware or whatever at the time. But yeah, gaming on consoles jumped to a mark where, especially during the PlayStation 2 time period, everything was like $50. I remember that because, well, maybe not everything, but definitely like the big name titles, anything from like Square Enix at the time, anything from like Activision, those were all like $50 titles. You know what I mean? The jump to $60 was rough at its time period too, because it's like $10 extra, but then it was like new tech, next gen, and everybody was like, okay, that makes sense. So now
that's almost my point. It's like when you get to like Nintendo, how does Nintendo continue to like, oh, we'll be there when most of their stuff is just like upscaled slide scrollers and shit like that. Like you're not providing a lot. You're just banking on your name. Like, I own this IP.
Exactly. I will not share it. I will not share it with anyone. You will pay this. This is how we're going to make money. And you know what? Maybe that's the only reason Nintendo is still in the game, because they have a franchise. They have multiple franchises, right? Anything Mario Kart, anything fucking Mario Party, anything Pokemon, anything fucking Xenoblade. You know what I mean? Like they have this very specific market that like has its clientele that will pay the money no matter what, because they can't get it anywhere else. And that's something that they're invested in. You know what I mean? So Nintendo knows that. They're not going to lose money on it. Like the last Pokemon games that came out, like Violet and fucking, I don't know, Fuchsia or whatever the hell those two games were, sold 10 million copies and were the most buggy, broken pieces of shit Nintendo has ever released. Like broken games. You know what I mean? 10 million copies to the like that's the type of shit you'd see on like a normal, you know, early access titles. Yeah. But Nintendo can't put anything out early access, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. Nintendo does not make sense to me. It used to. I got it. I get the concept of what they had, but now it's just like, and that's why, like, if we move away from what was the console wars and stuff like that, maybe that's when we start to see an equalization in games. Because realistically, the more tech that we develop, the more the games become these heightened experiences and all of this extra stuff. I get the cost needing to go up. Like even right now with games now costing $70 instead of $60. I get it. I understand. Doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? But it makes sense. Shit costs more money nowadays, period. You know? Yeah. We also, you know, realistically, people will bitch and complain, but we make more fucking money nowadays too. Everything else has gone up because we have to make more money, you know, or like we make more money because everything else has gone up type of thing. But like realistically, like think about 2007. How much money were you making? I was a manager at GameStop. I was making fucking $13 an hour. Yeah. How much were you making at Applebee's? Oh no, fucking that doesn't make any sense because it was minimum wage with tips. So, but I mean, realistically, you know.
Yeah. 2007, I think I was selling cell phones, and that's all commission based. Yeah. So, but I think like minimum wage. I remember like 2000, like end of high school, like one of the best like just right out the gate jobs you could get was like In-N-Out, because In-N-Out's like what, like a 11.50, 12 an hour, and everything else was like 9 or 10
I think,
or something like that.
And I think California minimum wage at that point was like $9.75 or like $10 or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was a dramatic jump.
Yeah. And that you are right about that. I remember everybody in Placerville trying to fucking get a job at In-N-Out, you know? Yeah. But it was also the thing, like when I
make it 30% more.
When I was a manager for Petco, same thing. I made like $15 an hour. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't make good money. I make well over double of that now, but I still don't have enough. I make more money now than I ever have in my entire life, and I'm more broke now than I've ever been in my entire life.
Fucking preach, dude.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Shit just costs more money, and then it translates down to fucking video games. Think about me. If I'm the fucking dude making the game, it's gonna cost the company a lot of goddamn money. Well,
yeah.
If that's the case, how do we recoup, especially on games like, that you sunk all your fucking money into Concord? You know what I mean? And then you put it out there and it fucking flops, or because
that's another thing. When you have when you're a big company, you have a lot of things under your umbrella. I have to imagine that something like Concord, it's like the rule of business. Like, if you have two businesses, one's sinking and one's thriving, you're not supposed to pool to try to help both. But you have to imagine in something like Sony's case, where they spend $100 million and that sinks, that it does affect everybody else's coffers moving forward.
Well, and I have to. Money is not as liquid as we think it is, especially when it comes to big corporations or big companies like that, right? Like, those are assets; those are things that are sunk. So someone is robbing Peter to pay Paul type of idea. So it's like, oh, this development company is building a game, but they're not really doing much. So let's take the money there and give it to this company. And then when that flops and falls, it's got to have a chain reaction that all of a sudden the next company can't produce.
Everything has
what I mean?
Like, all of a sudden, hey, I know your budget was supposed to be this. Can't do that anymore. Put too much into this. You're going to have to survive off this. Yeah. And then that sets the chain reaction for the next one, and so on and so forth.
And what we did, we dissolved this one, studio that we had underneath us. But what we'll do is we'll give you 20 of those guys. Pick the 20 guys that you want, and they'll help you finish your game. You know what I mean? That's where this stuff is starting to get.
You want me to pick those guys?
Yeah,
those guys that just did nothing.
Yeah.
Ooh, what did I just hear? The lady. Maybe I'll start saying this. I don't remember who she went for, but the lady that was in charge, like the president or somebody huge and instrumental to Dragon Age Veilguard, just went to a new, very beloved IP. And the world is terrified.
I remember she was stepping down. I know she was leaving, but I don't know where she ended up.
She left following... I don't know if she left or if she was taken off. But she is now presiding over a big franchise. What's the name? I don't have my phone on.
Hold on, I'm looking right now.
I remember seeing it. I was like, ugh.
Corinne Bush. Is that her name?
I don't know. The way it was framed.
Former Dragon Age Vanguard. Where is she at now? I don't know if I can find this.
Nothing?
I'm not seeing anything yet.
Shit.
She's hired by Wizards of the Coast?
For next Baldur's Gate.
Oh, no!
I know. That's what it was. She's hired by Wizards of the Coast, and they're like, oh, well, off the success of Baldur's Gate 3, we're looking to move into our next iteration already. Oh, what?
It won't be Baldur's Gate 4. It'll be a spin-off. It's like a side one. It's like Borderlands, the pre-sequel. You know what I mean? It won't have its own number because it won't be able to have that. God damn. Well, You know what? Maybe she learned her lesson.
Yeah.
There was a lady I was watching who was in game developing and whatever. She's put out a bunch of games and stuff like that. She was she was talking about when Veilguard was getting all the flack and everything. And she was saying, she was like, there is a tipping point for developers. And that tipping point is when you realize all of the backlash comes to you, and no matter where you go, that backlash will follow you. So your only option is to dig your heels in and continue to lose, because you're not just like trying to prove your own point, but you're trying to make a game for gamers. And so you're kind of on both sides. If you're only making games for the minority, then your games will never like necessarily succeed. You'll feel good about it, and the minority will be happy because they have their game. But in the grand scheme of where money comes from, the majority is where you need to make sure. So it's like trying to find that middle ground. So like once a developer loses that traction multiple times, they're either out of the industry or they'll never prosper at anything else. So she was saying like it's really interesting because she will have to determine what she wants to do with the next one. And if you go to another beloved franchise, and this was months ago, I'll have to find this video. She's like, if you go to another beloved franchise and you do the same thing you did with the last one, there's a good chance that the gaming industry will just kind of, it's the same thing like Hollywood. They'll just kind of run you out and they'll be like, yeah, you can't really touch anything big anymore. Make your own indie games or we'll put you on smaller projects. And I think that's how it should go. You know, I don't think the gaming should be a platform for, I don't know, man. I was going to say politics and agendas, but like, that's kind of all video games are. They're just stories, you know, they're just,
yeah, maybe just not as overt
in your face. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like if you're going to subject your politics and stuff into an idea, I want it to be on like a Reddit thread. We're like, well, did you really like read into it? Like, if you look and you like, this could be like a synonym for this, and like this is this, like make it be something you have to think about, not something that's like it's just being shoved in your throat. You're like, I'm in character creation. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. I think that's a big thing too. Is that I think gamers are just sick of it, because when games are consistently bad and they're spending $80 on a video game, the first thing they don't want to get is just fucking slapped in the face with like, it's like, man, I just want to load the game up and go from there. Like a
prime example, Dead or Alive volleyball. Like, just like let it be so almost like subliminal that like you don't get the message. You play the game and you play the game for the love of the game, but then like looking back, you're like, wow, that did have some big ideas in there that were just below the surface.
Just huge, massive ideas.
Yeah, just bouncing around.
Really just, and the way they just like
dental floss was holding it together, you know? Give me some of that.
I had a Dead or Alive game in one of the consoles at GameStop when I worked there. And one of the volleyball games, and we were playing it one day. I think it was right after it was me and Travis or something. God, I can't remember what we're doing. And we were playing it, and like a lady walked in and was like, what are you playing? And we just kind of looked at her and we're like, we have to try all video games that come in, because it's important for us to understand what we are doing and what we are playing to be able to sell them to everyone that walks through the door. And she was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. And I was like, you know, and some of them may not jive with what other people feel like. And I was like, there's games that we play that have demonic presence and people in the church don't really like them. We have to know these things. And she was like, oh, that makes total sense. Me and Trevor just fucking just playing naked volleyball.
I was going to say, that one kind of, it's almost like, is there a section in GameStop where there's like the beaded curtain that you have to go back and like grab it? Even though it's not like explicitly like a sex game, it's kind of like, ugh. You don't want to be a checkout. Like, you put it in a paper bag and like crumple it up to like take it out instead of like the fucking plastic bag.
There was a few of them that like, because we just alphabetized everything, but it was the ones that came in used that didn't come with their original boxes that we had to just
like the jack and sleeve.
We just printed out a thing and slipped them in, and someone would bring it up to the counter and they'd be like, oh, this sounds interesting, and you would grab it and you would look at it and be like, you know, it'd say like Leisure Suit Larry, and you were just like looking at it and be like, you have no idea what you were purchasing, right? Like, no, man, I just tried something out.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Have fun. And
is that the Magna Cum Laude?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a handful of games. Like it was like Conker's Bad Fur. They kicked it off, and then like
Leisure
this
Suit.
weird like
Leisure Suit
niche.
was way back in the day. The first original was on like CD-ROM, like, and it was
Hell yeah.
weird. The Leisure Suit games were bizarre. I remember the Magna Cum Laude one.
That had a whole page in was it Xbox? It wasn't Game Power.
Oh, it was one of those.
It had a whole thing, and I was like, "Oh, this looks like a horny game that a teenager would love."
Yep. And I remember this guy picked it up, and I was like, and I remember telling him, yeah, and he was like, "What was
them all on Steam?"
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh yeah, they have the whole thing on there." Put it on a save, because once every like big season or whatever, they do a giant sale for all of them all together, and they're like
71 cents.
Oh yeah, right now is it on sale?
I don't know.
So like you can get them all for like $20 or something like that.
Leisure Suit Larry, wet dreams don't dry.
Yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry, wet dreams dry twice. Leisure Suit Larry, magna cum laude.
I remember telling the guy, I was like, it's a lot like Bully. Have you played Bully? He's like, I love Bully. I was like, yeah, it's a lot like Bully. Same type of graphics, same type of idea. He came back in like a week later and was like, that was nothing like Bully. And I was like, no.
That's got to be the best part, is just like all that coming back.
When you make eye contact with those people too, when they walk through the door, and you're like, they just kind of like look away from you and walk past.
Yeah, I feel dirty.
Yep. Oh, God, man. I fucking miss working at GameStop. I mean, I wouldn't ever go back to working at GameStop because that place is a cesspool. But while we were there and it was lawless, we didn't have cameras. You know what I mean? Like there was no cameras at the Placerville fucking GameStop. Like we ran, like our boss did not care what we did as long as we were making him look good with numbers and money. And we were consistently making money. We were holding like after hours, like gaming tournaments with Zach Flask and like the roundtable crew, and we would keep the store open. Like we would lock everything down, but I wouldn't shut the computers down. So guys would just buy fucking games all night. Like I remember our regional manager was like, how are you guys making sales after you close? Like, oh man, the store was just packed. We couldn't keep people out. You know, he's like, you were making sales at like 12 o'clock at night. It's like, I don't know, man. You know, but, you know, it was lawless. But we did exactly what gamers wanted to do at that time period, which was play fucking video games, sell video games, and start building a relationship. Don't
you wish you could fucking open your own store like that?
God, yes. My friends list from PlayStation, Xbox, fucking just exploded from people. You know what I mean? We would just be like, hey, you're picking up this game, we play it too. Here's our gamer tag. Fucking add us on whatever, and we'll play. You know what I mean? There was all of that going on at that time period. And it was like, we were meeting people, we were meeting interesting people, we were playing interesting games, and like everybody was talking. There was times where like in store, us, the workers, people were bringing games to us and we're like, what's this? And they're like, oh my God, have you never heard of this? And they would explain it to you and you'd be like, fuck it, I'm gonna rent it tonight, go home and play it. And you're like, oh my God, it was great. And then you turn around and sell it. It was the dungeon crawler effect. You know what I mean? Where like one person played it and
word
then
of mouth just explodes it.
Exactly. And now it's like, we're just kind of just picking something up and trying it. I mean, me and Aaron have been playing a bunch of just random roguelike games. Like I see one, I send it to him. He sees one, he sends it to me. The coolest thing about Steam right now, games have demos again. I've been playing a fuck ton of games. Like they're all small indie title, whatever bullshits, but they got demos. I don't have to spend $10 on a game and put a 2-hour timer on it. I can just play a demo to see if I like the game or not. And it's getting me to the point where I'm playing these games and there's games where I'm like, nah, that's gone. Turn it off. Or there's other games I'm like immediately on wish list. Let's go. When it drops, I'm buying it. Which is cool, man. That's cool to see again.
How far we've come. That we full circled back into demos.
Man, I miss the old days of gaming, but I also think that, like we were talking about with the lady from fucking Dragon Age Veil, I think with the way that Nintendo is doing money, with the way that Xbox is trying to kill the console wars by having Sony exclusives on something that has an Xbox logo. I think we're getting back to a point where people are kind of done with the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're back down to just starting to try and make games. Like, you're gonna have the conglomerates that are pushing the Call of Duties and stuff like that. That's fine. But like, I have a feeling in the next couple of years, if the entire world doesn't collapse on itself, we'll start to see new IPs, interesting IPs that people are going to want to play. I think we're going to move away from, I think there'll be a lot more single player games. But I definitely feel the multiplayers that are going to come out are going to be a little bit more streamlined. They're going to be away from the main norms. We're not going to see a lot of BRs or fucking arena shooters. We'll see different type of multiplayer games, more chivalry like games. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's going to happen a lot more.
I hope so. You know, we've been in this like stagnation of just kind of like ideas.
I also think,
I mean, it's fine for a time, you know, you exist at a time where fucking like this is like the big thing, but I feel like it's like overstayed its welcome, you know?
Oh, agreed.
Like,
Agreed. 100%.
And like in the games like games like Elden Ring and like Baldur's Gate, things that are like way outside that like societal, like where like, just like shooters and everything like kind of like dominate the thing. Things like that coming out and getting like critical acclaim, I think is like a good sign of like we want more. We want different ideas, not necessarily like conflicting ideas, but like we want like the different like gaming mechanics. We want different like things than just like point, click, shoot.
Sure. Absolutely. I feel like something that I'm wondering what will end up happening, because everybody makes copies once they get the critical acclaim, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Something like this Night Rain game that's coming out, the Elden Ring Night Rain, where it's like Elden Ring, it's a, you know, Souls-like game, but it's multiplayer, but it's class-based, but it's a little bit more BR meets, like, it's kind of like a hodgepodge thing. I wonder where something like that is going to end up on the list, because I'm starting to see the rise of more roguelites. They're kind of exploding everywhere. And I don't know if that's where a lot of things are going to end up, but I think that's what breaks up the monotony of like the repetitive type of gameplay of multiplayers, is when you give your class or your player choices, and those choices are randomized every time you show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what, like, every time you play, it's something different.
We're trying to repeat this to the same effect as almost impossible.
I fucking blew up last game. I want to blow up again, and you can't. So then you have to like pick and choose your next build. And like that type of thing. I think that's where a lot of brains start to like kick in. Like, how do I solve this problem? At least for some gamers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Make it a little more than just like, I mean, like Balatro is like the most like simple example. It's like there's so much like, what jokers do I need to look out for? If I don't get this, what's my next play? Like having that, like you can play it like I do, you know. I have a very like cursory understanding of it, and I can play it. I can get through like a lot of it, but to get those big booms, those big like you need to like let yourself delve deeper into the understanding of it.
I mean,
so there's like two scales of the game. Like you could play it like a fucking mouth breather, or you could really take the time, get the understanding, and just play for. I
also feel like that's kind of the problem though, because like majority of the games that get the most like the most views, the most watch time, the most advertisement are for the mouth breathers. It's the Fortnite, the Call of Duties, you know what I mean? Like,
it's the ones where you don't have to think a lot, you know. Everybody gets that big boom.
Bro, you sent that video, or was it? No, Aaron sent that video today watching Call of Duty. I was just like, what am I even watching? What is this? I understand like the slides and like trying to like fight and doing all this stuff. I was like, this is the most boring thing I've ever watched in my life. Not because it was fast and flashy and that makes it like boring. I mean, it's just like when I played Call of Duty, I was playing a shooter. I wanted to play a shooter. What the fuck am I watching? This like weird acrobatics jump. Like, dude, does no one remember how much we hated Advanced Warfare? or Infinite Warfare.
Yeah.
Do we not remember that? Is that just something that just kind of got glossed over?
It was just ahead of its time.
Apparently, man. Apparently. Because there's no way. I remember that game being like, everyone was like, what in
the wall runs and all that stupid
everyone
shit.
hated that shit. But now that's all the game is. It's like, I don't want to play this.
It's so funny. Like they came out, like everybody's like, man, fuck this game. And then it's almost like the people that were good at that game found like the broken mechanics for like the bunny hopping and the like dropping down and picking up and stuff like that. It's like they went so far that they said it, and then all of a sudden the exploits of a mechanic in another game turned into like, we need to go back to this.
Yeah. I also think that the people that were young playing that their parents bought them for Christmas, and that was the only game that they were going to get until next Christmas, are now
gave them brain damage.
Well, not only brain damage, but they're the age now where they're the people that are making the games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
all they know.
Too. That's
all they know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know what's also really gross? And I'm just going to touch on this for a second. Because I've been around it a little bit more. I've been seeing it a little bit more. I've been watching it a little bit more because it's on, the kids are around, and like you see them watching like kids YouTube, and they're fixated on Minecraft and stuff like that. Younger kids that are now growing up that had a YouTube channel are a little bit more popular and becoming adults that are making Minecraft or Roblox videos for children, and like their demeanor and stuff is I'm watching what is the like poster child for pedophilia. You know what I mean? Like, you're just looking at these people being like, the way that their mind, like, part of me wonders and hopes that the way they make these videos is designed to market, make money, because advertisements and stuff, YouTube, that's just where it comes from. But I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I think their brains are stuck as children playing Minecraft or Roblox, making videos for children. You know what I mean? It's just feeling fucking gross.
When 95% of your fan base is 12 years younger than you.
Oh,
and you lean into it.
And the way that they talk and they're doing stuff and they're watching the video. And again, for the kids, it's really cool because they just get involved in it and they're just like loving it and whatever. But like, as the adults that are making it, dude, it is
a little less farming engagements, a little more grooming.
It just makes my skin crawl a little bit, man. And like, Roblox is dude, I don't know about Roblox. Roblox is one of those things where I get the idea of where it is kind of open source for a lot of people to be able to do a lot of things, but the fact that like children can just get in, there's like if you set up a Roblox account and you say you're 8 years old or whatever, it puts you at like medium security or something like that, or high security or something, instead of like the lowest it can set you, like as an 8-year-old. And you can get into weird fucking games because you have to remember there are adults that make the worlds in Roblox. And it's just like, I don't know, man. There's some weird, gross indoctrination thing that's happening with children in gaming, and I'm just not a big fan of it. I was like, my whole thing is like, I'm like, get them off of Roblox, get them off of the YouTubes, put them on a console, give them single players, give them like couch co-op games, let them become gamers that way. Or stick them in a Call of Duty lobby and let them hear some real fucked up shit for a little bit. You know what I mean? Those are how you become a gamer, not whatever this market is. That just, it's making me feel gross. Yeah, man. It's weird, dude. I'm just not. It makes me feel bad though, too, because like the younger generation is only seeing that. They're only going to understand that. You know what I mean? They're only going to understand that portion of things. And then as they start to get older, then they only understand the Fortnite portion of things. And then after that point, then they only understand maybe
that same thing where it's 10 a decade of gaming.
Yeah.
Where it's like ours was like, you know, we had progression, we had evolution, if you will, like things like that, and they just have,
I mean, for me,
Minecraft or Roblox or something like that.
If I'm a gamer, if I had a child and that child wanted to play video games, I would have a plethora of things for them to try. You know what I mean? But I almost
want to start them. like there's something I think about is I almost want all of like the like I wish my mom didn't give away all of my consoles. I want like my Super Nintendo. I want this, and I want to like start them young and play those games, you know, and let them still like, even though like it's not like feasible, but like if they don't know anything about it, like, oh, let's start off with fucking like Nintendo, like Super NES. Let's play this. Let them like still experience that like growth, whether they like understand or not that I'm taking them from like point A to point B. So by the time they get there, they have like almost like an appreciation of like, wow, it's gotten so much better. Like you almost wish you could like keep them in a cocoon. Like,
yeah.
Like I don't know how you would do it, because eventually somebody would be like, you don't like at school, you don't play Fortnite? What is Fortnite? You know, I wish you could keep them oblivious to that just for like a little bit.
I think it's one of those things too, where, oh man, that is a tough one too, because like ideally I would love to do that, but there's also a point of like, oh, okay, how many old fucking books do you go back to reread? Like, and I'm talking about like old books. Like, when was the last time you read like Jack London? You know what I mean? Or like,
I was just talking about Jack London.
You know what I mean? Like, how often do you go back to retouch on classics like that? You know, like one of my favorites is like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or whatever, and it's a great fucking book, but it's the most boring read because it's just ancient to read. You know, there is a point where I think having the appreciation of the foundation is like important. I think that's where like you would incorporate the game nights with family. Like, hey, I'm going to smoke you on Mario Kart 64 tonight. And then you can go back to playing whatever the newer game is or whatever it comes out to, you know?
I don't know. I feel like you have to get them before they get the new games.
Maybe.
I think about it a lot. I feel like I'm going to have to like force feed my children, not give them the option, keep them just like ignorant to like what's out there still. And just make a hard focus on like can you imagine like you just have a box in your garage, you're like, look what I got, it's all new stuff. They're like, whoa, no fucking way, Nintendo 64. And then like you know the PlayStation 2 and you're like, this is brand new. It's got all the dings and shit from over the year. You're like, yeah, look at these games, like holy shit.
By the time they're playing games, they are in school with kids though, so that's gonna be the thing that's gonna blow their brain. Right? Like, I don't think you can keep them in a bubble unless you homeschool them, right? And then you're just
have to.
Then your cult is just the cult of Xbox 360.
I was gonna say, now they're just like very socially awkward good gamers. That's how we break it. That's how we get the next round of devs.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I'm doing this for the world.
I'm breeding the next John Carmax.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They have a very cursory understanding of just like the basics, but man, are they good at coding. Just
oh my God.
Computer stations at 12 just trying to like make the next side scroller.
I mean, that would be sick. That would be sick. I love the idea of like, I also love the idea of like blowing kids' minds with certain things. Like, I think the way that you do it too is like, hey, come and play this N64 game with me. Like, Dad, that's so old. And be like, and then let them win a couple times. Like, man, you're really good at this. It took me forever. And like fuck with them. You can't lie.
Yeah, put me in Nintendo 64 and tell me I don't go to fucking town on you on fucking Koopa's Beach. Out of here.
That's
also I'd have to like lock off this room with like all my nice stuff. Like, what's in there? You can't go into Dad's office.
Yeah,
I'm playing like all this shit with my friends and just leaving them in fucking 1993.
It's like, hey, you got to have girls' night tonight, and then like you sit down with your kid, being like, one night a week we have this, and you are allowed to use any words you want because Daddy's going to use any words he wants. But that's
gonna be nice. At the end of this, I need you to know I still love you.
I still love you. I'll take you out for pizza and ice cream. There's gonna be some things said, and you are not gonna
fuck you up.
You little fucking shit! I'll go to your house and kick you. Oh my God. All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make
Lord.
sure you get your kids off Roblox.
Yeah, it's seriously start now. Like wean it. It's like fucking drugs, man. The sooner you get them off them, the cleaner they'll be. You can get them into church later. But all right, we're out of here. Bye-bye.